Hey guys, this is Hayden from Patrick Hike Academy, and today's video is all about non-essentials. If you're following along in your packet, this is from the ACT Grammar Punctuation packet, and the lesson starts on page 19. And before we begin, let me just say that non-essentials are a huge topic on the test, just because there's so many different ways that they can test you on them. So if you pay close attention to this video and really understand it, you should be good for a good number of questions. But let's begin. Non-essentials are anything, it can be a word, phrase, or clause, that you can take it out of the sentence and the sentence still works, it makes sense. It's just adding some extra detail to the sentence, but you don't need it to be there. So let's look here. A tall man, Yao Ming, played in the NBA. Our non-essential is a tall man. I can take it out and say Yao Ming played in the NBA and be perfectly fine. Non-essential, whether it's a word, phrase, or clause, has to be separated out from the rest of the sentence, and it can be done with commas, dashes, or parentheses, and there are different ways to use each of them. So let's look. The first way is if the non-essential comes at the beginning of the sentence. If it does, you're going to go non-essential, comma, and then the rest of the sentence. Let's look at an example. Gasping for air, comma, John stopped running. We can take that out and just read, John stopped running and it's fine, so we know that this is not essential information in the sentence, which is why we put that comma in. If the non-essential comes at the end of the sentence, we're going to do the sentence, comma, non-essential. Our example, little Johnny threw a fit, comma, breaking a vase. Don't need that in the sentence, so we put the comma to indicate that it's non-essential. And if the non-essential comes in the middle of the sentence, you have a couple options for how to do this. You can either put commas, dashes, or parentheses around the non-essential. But a really key thing here is that they have to match. Because you'll have options on the test where you'll have Josh got his Jeep, comma, which is black, dash, last Saturday. Even though both of those are indicating pauses, they have to match, and that's part of what they're seen to test you on. Do you understand that they have to match as well? But you'll never have to choose between commas around something or parentheses around something because they're all equally good answers, all of these. To continue with names. Names are also a little tricky. So in this sentence, the scientist, Lyndon Johnson, accepted the Nobel Prize. Because I have that the in front of scientist, I know I'm talking about a specific scientist. I can say the scientist accepted the Nobel Prize and be perfectly fine. Linda Johnson, or her name, is totally not essential to the sentence. However, if I just said molecular biologist Bonnie Bassler leans over a collection of petri dishes, well, I don't have that the there. So let's try to take out Bonnie Bassler and just say molecular biologist leans over a collection of petri dishes. I have no idea which molecular biologist I'm talking about because I'm not talking about a specific one. Therefore, the name is essential, so we're actually not going to put commas around the name in this case, even though we did put commas around the name for Linda Johnson. Also, let's look at this sentence. His wife, Vera, went to the store. Well, we can just say his wife went to the store. That's one way you can recognize that this is not essential. But the other key thing here is that we're assuming that whoever he is only has one wife, so we don't need that extra clarification of the name because only one of that type of person exists. There are words that are considered exceptions, and these are our reflexive pronouns. Itself, himself, herself, whatever words like that are always going to be central to the sentence. You're never going to put commas around them, even though it might seem a little redundant. I did my homework myself. I'm not going to have any commas around that, for example. When you see phrases like such as, including, and which, these should be kind of red flag phrases or words that you're looking at the beginning of a non-essential. So let's look at this sentence. She has several favorite places. There's a such as, so put the comma before it, such as the beach and the lake. So a lot of people get confused because they'll put, she has several favorite places such as, comma, the beach and the lake. But you're actually going to want to put it before and not after. When we're dealing with years, depending on where they are in the sentence, they're always going to be considered non-essential. So here we go, in 1996, comma, Atlanta held the Olympic Games. Let's throw it in the middle. Groups saved it from demolition, and in 2006, the lobby was moved. Or another example, with outside of the prepositional phrase, just by itself, that same year, 1492, Christopher Columbus discovered America. Years are always going to be non-essential information, so punctuate them as so. Here's some practice that you can do, but we are going to go over this sample question together, so go ahead, pause if you need to read through. But you can see that we have kayaking in white water, the tumultuous rapids of swift-moving rivers appeals to people seeking adventure and excitement. So we have to think to ourselves, what can we take out of this sentence, and I'll still have a sentence that will make total perfect sense? Well, it's this. We can take out this. We can take out kayaking in white water. Our sentence can just be, the tumultuous rapids of swift-moving rivers appeals to people seeking adventure and excitement. So, we need to punctuate that non-essential like a non-essential. We need a comma right here. And the answer choice that correctly does that is going to be answer choice C. Remember, we're never going to have a semicolon for answer choice B. Choice A doesn't have any punctuation. And choice D puts a comma after rivers, which is an unnecessary comma between our subject and our verb. Here's another challenge sample question if you want to pause to read through. If we see this, we can see Bassler became intrigued with other researchers' discoveries, including Vibrio fischeri, a luminescent marine bacteria. So right now we have a semicolon right there, another big no-no, because we know that that can only go between two independent clauses. But we can see a luminescent marine bacteria. Can we take that out and have a complete sentence? I believe we can, and because we can do that, this is not essential to the sentence, so we're going to punctuate it like a non-essential, which answer choice C does by putting that comma right before it. Here's some more ACT questions, but that is going to be all of the lesson on non-essentials.